Scroll down a little bit.
This one.
Are we going live now?
Going live now. Watch the right screen whenever y'all come up. Y'all are going live.
You gotta get rid of, you gotta get past all of that.
We're not there yet, Eddie.
No, it's way down there where he was.
Okay. Right.
You should get a notification. Hey, Renner's Ross. Jed is live.
We good?
All right.
We're still muted, right?
3, 2. Curtis.
Everybody, welcome to the third Wednesday of the month of April. This is the new Super Investor Meeting virtual Corona edition, the second version. Joined by the main man, Eddie Gant, the guy
Talking
who,
about you.
and Richard Drake.
Main man. Yeah.
Richard's got an onslaught of statistics for us that's going to
Riveting stuff.
tickle your fancies.
Riveting stuff.
Very riveting. So tonight, who was supposed to be the guest?
Mark Dotcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Mark Dotcher.
Last time he was here, he said that it felt to him like we were on a plane and we were starting our descent.
We were on final approach.
Final approach. I would say that we went in.
Well, I hope we didn't crash.
I think we went in with no engine on
It's
both
like-
sides.
It reminds me of a joke. Got to liven this thing up. We're about 1,100 people light here. You know that, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
last year when he spoke, we had about 1,100 people. Now we got us three and our fan club over here of a few. But you know who Ron White, the comedian, is?
Yes.
Tater
Right?
salad.
He's on a
Tater
plane.
salad.
He's on a plane one day, and they lost an engine.
Okay.
So they dipped down and all turbulent and everything, and this lady got scared and next to him, and she said, how far you think we'll make it? He said, I predict we'll make it all the way to the crash site.
All the way.
We'll beat the paramedics there by about 30 minutes.
So-
So I hope we hadn't crashed here.
I hope
hope not.
I hope that we're not going to. I hope that we're going to avoid it. It looks like the numbers coming out of March were pretty good for home sales, and we'll get into that. But
8,000.
8,000.
It's about a normal month, isn't it?
Only about 3 of them are mine, though. That's the problem.
Ooh, is that the biggest difference between? What is the typical month for you? How many deals are you closing?
Well, it used to be 6 to 8 to 9, but we hadn't been there in a little while.
Okay, and so your new normal is what?
3, 4, 5
Okay.
now. You
What-
know, I mean, it's just different.
What about you, Rich? How many intakes are y'all doing?
So, on the landlord side, new landlords, we're ticking up a little bit. A lot of people are having trouble. They're having a little fear of selling. Right? They see a little slowdown coming. They feel like it's going to be difficult to sell. So a lot of people are changing their mind and renting, which is good for us. And folks are still paying the rent. So
That's good.
we're seeing a slight uptick.
Let's jump back in your March numbers. Misleading, in my opinion.
Ooh.
Misleading, because all of those contracts, if you close a sale in March, most likely your contract was written in February.
Right.
Okay? I mean, the only way you close a sale in March that was written in March is you wrote that contract in very early March, or it's to
Or
to
January,
another
February,
investor,
even.
or to another investor who's, keep in mind, you only sell to 3 people, right? Owner, occupant, investor, landlord, investor, flipper. That's only three people you sell a house to. There's not a 4th that I've ever discovered. So the numbers are misleading. Now I think April is going to tell the tale.
Now,
start to tell the tale.
what did March look like last year? Do you have that in your brain?
Yeah, because I read the HAR report. Everything was up 3 to 5 to 6 to 10%, depending on category.
Yeah.
Median price, average price, total sales.
What were the
sales
total
volume.
sales last March? Do you remember?
7,000 something.
Yeah.
They were up 3, 5, 6%. So they were up.
Yeah.
Median price was up 3 to 5%. But again, that's just misleading because all those were contracts most likely written
Contracts in February.
because COVID-19 started, in my mind, March 9th.
So
The rodeo was canceled on March the 10th.
Yes.
NBA, NCAA basketball was canceled
Baseball.
March 11th and 12th and all of that stuff. But March 9th is when it started, that Monday. That's when it started.
So what do you think April is going to look like? And you said that you were talking to Mark, right? And he had some stuff that was going to come out. Has
Yeah,
he
and I have not,
sent
I've
that
not
out
seen
yet?
it. I've not seen it. Well, he sent me some stuff, but I've been blowing. So to be honest with you, I didn't even look at it today.
I've been
So,
talking to a lot of
Yeah.
folks that retail houses, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Alex,
You know,
you
they
fix
flip,
this, make sure this is on.
they flip houses, right? So they buy, fix,
Mm-hmm.
and sell. And he said the buyer's agents are getting cocky. I mean, they're saying, replace the roof, replace AC, or we're out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they have this bravery because they think now it's instantly this buyer's market. So you may see that as a flipper,
Yeah.
you know, that you're going to see some more aggressive offers discount wise by homeowners, right? And you're going to see
Good.
agents asking for more than you're used to having them ask for.
Mm-hmm.
A guy had 40-something things he wanted done on a $90,000 sale.
Oh my
You
God.
know?
Yes, yeah.
And that, you just don't see that.
Yeah. Well, it's a transition time. I sure as hell hope that we bust out of this deal. And I was incorrect early on. I thought it would move through quicker, and it hasn't. We're sitting here April the 15th, and I think generally speaking, most people believe we're going to be in this through May.
Well, it'll be interesting
You know,
tomorrow.
Most people think we're going
I
to be in
think
it through May.
I thought it was May 13th was when
Yeah. Well,
the next lift period might be for Texas.
Well, here's the key. That curve has got to flatten and start down, and then the key people making decisions, Washington, Austin, they got to say, let's go back to work. And until that happens, we
Well,
ain't going
and
back
I
to
was
work.
listening to Trump on the way up here,
Yeah.
the daily briefing, and he said he will have guidance for the states tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because he had mentioned yesterday, over 20 states were in very good shape, in his opinion. Now, I don't know where he considers Texas, but, you know, if they start gradually reopening things, that's gonna boost consumer confidence. So we'll see.
Yeah. I don't have any money from the PPP and the
EIDL.
EIDL in my
And you definitely ain't
account.
at the $1,200.
I don't have anything in my account yet.
Don't have anything.
I went to the Gov websites and asked about the 1,200, and they said, we don't have the data to see, we can't tell you if you're qualified or not.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I
you can not
applied.
tell.
I applied. Maybe I'll get something. I don't know. I applied, and I coached a lot of people through it early on because I was on the front of the curve with it, and I got my stuff in fairly early. But who knows? I mean, I just don't know.
Ken, oh God, who's Ken? Buddy of mine, Ken, he got approved for his PPP officially.
Yeah.
Did he use a small private bank or did he use like a big name? That's really
I'd
been
have
the
to
key.
ask
I used a bank.
A big bank?
Well, no, it's a community bank.
Okay. Well, I'm
But
hearing that
I
the
went to
community
two.
bank- Okay. The first
The
one.
first
didn't.
one told me, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. They said, we're too busy, we're too busy, we're too busy. And then I pulled and went to another bank, and they put me in the system. So
Yeah, they're making a lot of money to do these loans.
they say they're not. I don't know what
They're
that
making
rate
5 points origination.
what the bank is.
5 points.
From
You sure
the
about
that?
SBA.
Wow.
500
Wow.
bips. Can you
Wow.
believe that? Now, they're
That's a
not
lot.
making anything on the interest.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
1%.
what they
Hey,
lose. They're losing that
I don't know
arbitrage.
about you guys, but Jet Lending takes some of that. We'll go back
Well,
to 5 points
we had a-
tomorrow if the guys will pay it. But if I run out of money, when I say run out of money to loan, that lasts, you know how a hotel, they get to 95% occupancy, they
The
jack
rates
up
go
the
up.
rates.
Has
You know,
any-
and I'm joking out there, okay, everybody, but,
Oh,
but
okay,
we,
sure you
we
are.
get
Uh-huh.
we get to about 97% of our money loaned out. You know, we may have to up the rate a little bit. But yeah.
A couple extra points here and there.
Yeah, we got.
What's been the biggest change for both of your businesses? What's been the biggest change in doing business?
Well,
Doing it at home.
yeah, that's big. We're not overly home here. We're about 50-50 here. Everybody has the option to work out of home if they want to, but me, Alex, Johnny, most of the loan officers,
You're at
we
the
come
office.
in. We come in most of the day.
Yeah, and
you
we're 100% remote. But we're like you guys. I know Alex has done a lot of work for you guys, getting you guys virtual as it was.
Oh, he's doing
and
a
paperless
fantastic job.
before that, right?
Yeah.
And we've been
Yeah.
paperless for several years, so it didn't really change our process too much. We had to deal with how do we get mail, how do we get checks signed, those types of the little, little things. But other than that, it's business as usual.
It's mental. I mean, you're dealing with a client base that they have this degree of uncertainty in their voice, and they come to us for a loan today, but it's like, are we really going to do this deal and not do this deal? I'm talking. That's what the client's thinking, and it's a mentality of the business. It used to be push, close, close, close. Now it's, I got this deal. What do y'all think? Should we do it? Should we not do it?
Yeah, you're now more of the educator
Yeah.
in the hand holder in the
We're in
process.
social counseling.
Yeah.
Well, sure, and there's a lot
You're the
of
bartender.
there's
Yeah.
uncertainty in ARVs going forward too.
Oh,
so
God,
that's
yeah.
that's a thing for the younger investor that's not, as well capitalized as somebody like Eddie or something.
So how has it changed in buying properties,
Well,
or has it?
it's changed. I remember, I'm gonna reflect back to 08, 09.
Okay.
The market tanked, but the seller mentality doesn't go instantaneous with the market tank. They follow later at some lapsed time. And I'm just gonna give you kind of the general description of it. Let's say that the market tanked in August of 2008, where you couldn't freaking sell a house for nothing. The typical seller wasn't in that mode in August of 2008. They didn't get in that mode till early 2009. It's a delay. And I think that's what we're in now a little bit. You're in it, but you still don't realize you're in it. There's a time lapse of
And
where you really,
and I think with this, contrary
it's a mental
to,
time lapse.
contrary to '08 though, is people that were in oil and gas, people that were in real estate got crushed. The regular folks
Yeah.
weren't as affected as we are, so they didn't realize how bad it was in the mortgage industry, right? Well, in this is everybody.
Yeah.
So even if they're not in that mode, you can educate them real quick about how long you want to hold on to this thing.
Yeah.
You can have that conversation now because it's everyone. They know there's uncertainty, and you just got to teach them that there is. Remind them.
I was in 2 appointments over the weekend, and I preached that, and I did not buy either house. I think there's a chance
Yeah.
I'm going to get them. But I mean, I looked at these people, they were wanting to move to North Carolina, and they're ready to go like the next day. I mean, they're already boxed up, and the numbers were, I offered 168 and change. They want 220. I inched up to 171 and change. Okay, just little bitty bumps, And it got their attention because they really thought when they said, well, we got to be at 220. ARV is 290 on this house. Okay, and their mentality was, well, they'll throw the 220 number at me,
They'll
and
split the
I'll go from my 168 to 205, 210, wherever. And I didn't. And it was like an old crap moment for them, and they're good people. It's just, as rightfully so, they're trying to maximize the amount of money in their pocket before they move to North Carolina. And they were sitting there going like a little bit shell-shocked that I wouldn't move toward their number more. I said, guys, I don't know how long I'm going to own this thing.
Well, and it lends validity to your offer
Yeah,
too when
yeah.
you don't jump
Don't- yeah.
30,000, and then they say, "Well, why the hell did you offer me this if you were
Yeah,
going to go up
yeah.
that much anyway?"
Yeah. So, back to your what I think's going on out there is as much mental as it is pure factual of what's going on. And remember, I said there's a delayed response in this stuff. I mean, the people, like those people, weren't prepared for that, and I think that's fairly typical.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
That makes 100%.
It's a time lapse mentally.
And if you're out there on any of the social media platforms that we're on, or any of the forums that this has been shared to already, we ask that you ask any questions, give any feedback, anything that you got. These guys are a wealth of information, some more than others.
Yeah. But we
But-
should be at the RCC right now with 1,100 people.
Right.
We should.
Well,
With
okay.
barbecue and
I'd love
Let's go.
everything,
Let's
yeah.
go back to some fun moments.
Yeah.
What are the milestones, and where was the venue at when you hit that milestone? And then when did you and Rich
Well,
partner together?
We partnered together, has it been 4 years?
Oh, at least. It's been a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
About 4 years ago.
Where were you at before that?
Well, you got to remember, Rich had his meeting, and we had ours.
Okay.
And they were on this merging course for a while.
Okay.
And then that merge occurred, we'll say 4 years ago. I don't know if it was 4 or not, but somewhere around there.
And that was at the Texans Grill.
Well, we were at the Texans Grill.
Okay.
Okay. Rich was at the RCC with his meeting.
Yeah.
And then we merged the two meetings together. Okay.
Okay.
He gave a little bit, I gave a little bit. I gave on location.
Right.
Because he had he wanted to go to the RCC.
Yeah,
I
we
wanted
stayed
to
at the
You stayed at the
Texans for a
y'all
minute.
stayed at the
for a
Texans
few
Grill for a
months.
It
while
wasn't
until they
long,
went.
no. Well, and we needed to move because we'd outgrown
Yeah,
it in the sound system.
The sound
Yeah, and it
wasn't
was so
good.
narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the max number when y'all were together?
That we've ever had.
1170's the biggest we've ever had.
Yeah, 11, yeah. And that was
At the Texans Grill before
No,
you
no,
moved.
no.
At the RCC.
At the RCC.
What was the milestone for you where you were like, I can't believe we hit that number when y'all joined forces?
I would say we were doing 300-ish, and you guys were doing 4 something probably,
Well,
pushing 500.
It was more than that, actually.
And we hit about 600 or
yeah, we-
700 together.
Yeah, we bumped up to about that 600-700 number a few times, but hell, you couldn't hear anybody. The sound system, it was just time for the move. But we
A
bumped
lot of
up-
overlap
yeah,
in
yeah,
both meetings.
Yeah, there was.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like,
And we weren't the same night.
Yeah.
We were not the same night. I say I gave a little bit. I went to Rich's venue, but he went to my night.
Okay.
Right? I think we went to
Third Wednesday super investor meeting.
and I had a lot of people tell me that it's a huge mistake moving to that venue. It's too big, it's gonna feel empty, and you're gonna hate it. And it's
Well,
been
packed.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Their
We-
staff was so great.
What do you think that's gonna look like moving forward without the RCC?
We're shopping. I mean,
Yeah.
we're-
Anybody out there want to bring 1,000 people a month in?
Let us
Beer
know.
and food?
Yeah,
we
we-
gotta
It's
have a new venue.
The venue has to be a certain way though, because you can't have the vendors in the same room with the education
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
too loud.
it's too loud.
It's
People
disruptive.
think it's easy to go find a place to put 1,000 people.
Yeah, and this is a way more different venue than the come hang out and drink some beer with us and there's no real education,
When I
which is what a lot of these are.
When I traveled throughout the months while we were traveling, when I talked about our meeting, the Jet/Renters Warehouse meeting, or the Renters Warehouse
Renters
slash Jet meeting,
Yeah. That too.
I got 2 or 3 key responses. One was, "Oh, I've heard about that," and I'd be on West Coast,
Oh, yeah.
you know, at an investor meeting. "Oh, I've heard about that. They've actually heard of this meeting." That's one. Second thing is, you bring 1,000 people a month in? It's like, no way. I said, "Hey, look at the pictures, look at the video." So they're in awe. And I started sometime a year or so ago of saying, this is the largest real estate investor meeting held monthly in the nation, and it's probably the world. The key is held monthly. Yeah, we don't draw the National Association of Realtor numbers, but
The
there's
one-
once
but
a
that's
year.
a one-time.
That's a once a year deal.
And that's a
you know?
convention, not really a meeting.
meeting. You know,
So your biggest meeting that you had was 1170.
1170, I think it was.
Okay.
You know when
And-
that was?
Mark Dotzer.
Nope. He's got second and third. I
That
think,
was the
second and
night that I got up to speak.
third. Yeah.
Hey, that's
it was,
hilarious.
First meeting after Harvey.
After Harvey.
First meeting after Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are brand new, never done a deal, and how many seasoned people? Do you think it's 50-50?
Well, we asked that question.
Yeah.
I'd say 30% new.
Well, when we ask a question though, it's how many people have never been here.
Yeah.
We really don't say how many. Occasionally we'll have a conversation about who's done this many deals or done no deals, and you get a fair number of hands raised up that
I just
haven't
throw-
done deals.
I just throw a ballpark out. When we say first time here at this end, it's 30%.
Right, but
Yeah.
you also remember there's a whole bunch of folks outside that never come
That's
inside.
right. That's right.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still 100, 200 people
There's
that have never been
usually
here before.
and there's usually outside. There's
Yeah.
200-300 people.
We'll
Right,
be
I'm
somewhere.
saying
All right.
new people is what I mean.
These folks didn't come here for a history lesson.
No, but what I was going to lead
Yeah.
into is last month on this show, how many viewers did we have?
It was almost 10,000, I think. The
Pushed 10.
highest I saw was 9,600, and it may be up from there since, do you know the final number?
I think, I don't know, Alex probably knows what the
What was the
final
final
tally
number of
was.
viewers for this show last time?
I don't know, I stopped counting after 9,000.
Yeah, it was like 9,800 was
yeah.
what we had at one point.
That's pretty good.
And yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
that's great. And
Yeah.
I want to know, where's the furthest someone's listening from?
Right.
Like, is someone from the East Coast watching right now? You know, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're from.
Yeah,
where
we'd
you're
like to see
listening.
that.
How'd you find out about it?
I've had folks, I had a guy fly in from California for me to show, he's one of my customers, but he owns property management company in California. He
And-
came to see how we ran the event. He puts 300 people in a room now.
And the history lesson is only important because one reason. You've been through, both of y'all have been through a lot of crashes, and you're still here. How many doors do you have under your management?
Well, a little over 1,000.
And how many doors do you have in your care?
Low 100s, 120.
You talk about,
130.
he owns that many rentals.
Yeah, yeah.
We manage
Exactly.
that. We own about 60 rentals and we manage about 1,000.
Okay.
I've sold off some just because I don't have a data chart to show you how wonderful this idea, but we just have this idea every 5 or 6 years we turn some properties and we take that money and we reinvest it somewhere else, either in other properties or, you know, I'd be straight up. We won't go into this now, but me and Alex getting ready to buy another company tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow, we're gonna buy a company tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
So we reinvest this money in other avenues.
That's awesome. What is the number one thing someone needs to do coming out of quarantine, getting back into the market? What do they need to do today to prepare for 30 days from now?
That's a good one.
Get your money ready is what I would
Get
say.
your money lined up.
Get your money ready.
Okay.
Whether it's your money or somebody else's money or Jet Lending's money or Rich Uncle's money, or get your money ready to go.
Yeah,
But
I
I think this deal is gonna blow hard when she blows.
What do you think people are missing out right now in order to be successful? What are they not doing that they should be doing right now?
It's a great time to educate yourself, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You got Audible, you got YouTube. There's a lot of great
You
content
got
out there.
Zoom,
Yeah.
you have Facebook Live.
If
And
you're
the
sitting around watching
Yeah.
Netflix all day, you're wasting time.
Yeah,
Educate yourself.
education is it's big even when we're not in a time like this. But you know, let's just throw a number out. Let's just throw a day. Let's say we're ready to roll and it's still big time in July. I don't know, July. And if you're not ready, all these fast cars, all these Porsches or Lamborghinis are going to blow
Teslas.
you off the road, and the 4x4s is, you know, they can get off road, going to blow you off the road. That's a good analogy, actually. When you think about it, you're going to be sitting there in the slow lane, and everybody's going to blow by you. And in 2 years from now, you're going to be thinking, "What was I
had that
thinking? I
opportunity."
had that opportunity."
What are you doing right now to get in the fast lane?
Well, you got to think about which company. For Jet Lending, Alex has brought on 2 new staff members, 2 new loan officers. We're training them, and I'm letting my banks know that we're healthy because they're all interested how you doing.
That's what I was gonna say, is make sure you have your credit lines ready.
And I had a guy off the West Coast tell me that if you own a hard money company and you come through this unscathed, you can just turn on the fire hose of drink of water at your company to loan out if you show you can make it through this unscathed. Now, that's his words. Those are not mine. I'm just
Right.
repeating what he
But
said.
that's good.
But you asked, what are we doing? Alex has hired 2 new loan officers in the last month. We're getting them up and running. We're just,
What are you
know,
doing, Rich?
we're getting ready.
Very similar. We're, since we're remote, it's real easy. We can scale very quickly. We can hire another and we use virtual assistants for certain, repetitive tasks. We can add one of those in a day. But we're ready. We have the capability to add 50% more and not even have to hire somebody. We are advertising. We've ramped up our advertising already.
Okay.
And basically the message is, if you're a landlord and you're doing it yourself, we're happy to help, even if you're not our customer.
How are you
We'll help.
ramping up this advertising? What are the distribution models you're using?
So we're always on radio. So we've kicked up the radio a little bit, and then we did OTT television. Are you familiar with that? So it's the Hulu, the ads that you have to watch on Hulu and all that. And we're able to target. It's expensive, but you're able to target a specific person. You can target somebody who owns more than one house and lives in this zip code. And that view is expensive, but you're not blasting to the world like TV and normal TV and radio, where you're blasting to the exact audience you're looking for. So it's a good model.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are you doing different?
In terms of what?
Marketing to get ready to blast.
Well-
are you scaling back a little bit on
Well,
marketing?
on the house buying right now, we scale back a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we.
Because on the jet
I
lending
don't-
side,
I
I've
don't-
seen your face
Well,
almost every
well,
day. On
Alex
some sort
gets
of
most of the credit for this. Alex, who's been with us for a long time, took a little sabbatical there, but he come back and he's in charge of that. And I can't take credit for that. It's Alex takes credit for all of this digital marketing, social media marketing, everything that we're doing out there that you see jet lending. It's Alex, and Alex is in charge of that, and he's very creative and works about 90 hours a week, and
That's all.
he gets it out there, and
Yeah, and
You
it's,
know?
and this kind of
I
stuff.
have an
doesn't-
idea for it every now and then. He'll run something by me, and I have a pretty creative mind, but my mind is not focused on trying to be creative 24/7 like his is.
Right, and you're not a computer whiz like him.
No,
But
I can sketch it out.
it's important to do two things. One, we're helping people by,
Yeah.
getting this information out. We do a weekly COVID update, right? But what you're also doing is you're getting your name out there, and that's more exposure for your company and top of the mind awareness, and it doesn't cost anything.
You almost never did webinars or podcasts. And now I see you weekly on webinars and podcasts. And your online presence went from, not very comfortable to you're more comfortable. It's more fluid. And that leads back into what we were talking about. If you're not using this time
Well, I've been
right
coaching
now-
the boy. I've been coaching the
Thank
boy.
goodness. Thank goodness. Eddie's
What kind of education is that?
what would we do without you?
I know.
So,
Thank God we got Eddie.
so yeah, like right now,
What would we do?
most of these people are not using their potential at home because they're
Yeah.
not doing anything productive. I'd be making videos every day of myself, whether I post it online or not. I would just get
Well, you
comfortable
do
making
it all the
videos.
time. You just
Yeah.
make silly stuff and put it up there, and people
I
watch
drove
it.
to your house to go look at to do a remodel on your
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I've made a
My bathroom.
dumb video on
My-
the way there.
My two-year gutted bathroom. My master bath's been gutted for 2 years. I don't get around this stuff very often. I'm busy. I'm busy.
Yes, and yes. So, okay, I'm gonna get you. Is there any questions online? Anybody saying anything? Is there any?
I got 3 questions.
Okay.
The first question is there any creative financing available right now? For instance, Chase is doing 20% down at 700 FICO. For anybody that's doing either conventional to buy a house or do long-term, is there anything creative going out there right now?
Well, I think you got to break that down into owner-occupied.
You might want to repeat it. I don't know if
Yeah,
they
I
can hear
don't
that.
know.
Is anybody
Are you
doing
online?
anything? Okay, is anybody doing anything creative for long-term financing out there? And you threw out I think they said something about a Chase product.
Chase,
Well, I
yeah.
think you got to break that down immediately into owner-occupied, meaning you're buying it to live in it,
Fannie
or
Mae
it's
product.
investor, or it's for a landlord.
and if you're mentioning
I
the
mean,
Chase,
it's just-
that's a Fannie Mae product.
It's probably, the question sounded like more of an owner-occupied
Mm-hmm.
type loan, but I don't know about creative, but I'll tell you this, the owner-occupied financing world is very healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no issue that I'm aware of with owner-occupied long-term financing. The rates are low. I got a pre-qual today, and on one of my offers at 3 3/8%. And Clint's told me with Integrity Mortgage that he was in the 3s, I believe said he was in the 3s for owner-occupied. Now, the majority of our audience is investors. So with that,
But they're interested in
Yeah.
selling their houses and
Yeah.
making sure their buyers
Yeah,
get financed.
yeah,
That's important to us.
it is, to my, I meant it, I meant it every hour. There is not an issue with getting owner-occupied loans done.
They're tightening up a little bit, but they're checking verifying employment at the last minute, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
there's
still out
not
there.
an issue.
Plenty
If
of
the,
money out
if the borrower's got the credit and the assets and the income documented, it is not an issue. Okay. If you go into investors, that's a whole different ballgame. I think I stated on this podcast last month that most of our Wall Street lenders, capital partners, we call them, that we're not sitting here with $20 billion at Jet Lending. When we close a 30-year landlord deal, it's going to Wall Street. Okay, those folks are all but shut down. One of our competitors was watching, logged in on it. I'm doing them. Bullshit. I'll just tell it like it is. Bullshit. There may be a few out there, but those programs are. You talk about tightened up.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So anyway, now you got Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae can still close non-owner occupied investor loans. Okay, but it's tough. It's a full doc, tough underwrite. Most of our clients, most of the people logged in tonight are probably not Fannie Mae people because of the way they treat their
Or
income.
they've already
The way
loaded
they
up
treat
their
their
Fannie
income.
Mae
Yeah, that.
limit.
And
So
they-
is
the way they treat
Vizio
their income.
non-QM?
Yes.
Yeah, Vizio's still out there.
How
are they?
No, they're down. They're
They're
shut
on
down.
pause right now.
Yeah, they're on pause.
Interesting.
I talked to Vizio this week, and they're really good friends of mine. They're not open for business for. That was my understanding
darned.
talking to them. Talking to one of the principals, they're not open for business.
I'll be-
Yeah, for right now. They expect to be back as soon as this deal lets go because, I'll use this history lesson here if you want it. If you think about
People didn't come
the
here for
collapse of the
history lesson.
subprime market, what really happened? That was, people can say all they want to say about this and that, but let me tell you what shut that down. Wall Street.
Yes.
Wall Street was set the criteria. You underwrite to this criteria, we'll buy all you can originate, and that's what happened. And then the Wall Street bean counters finally got around one day. Instead of making that 7% or 8% or 9% return that they desired, and it was way less than that, they turned the faucet off. So all your subprime lenders didn't have a place to move the paper anymore. And that's what shut it down because the returns at Wall Street were not where they wanted. And it was because of defaults.
So if you don't have a lot of non-QM, then the lending criteria is going to be harder to get for non-owner occupied loans. Then that
For
should
long term, specify.
for buy and hold.
For buy and hold.
For
that's
buy and
right.
hold.
That's right.
If the non-QM product is not there,
But
And-
it's there. Do you think
if
about
it's
the
on
low?
pause right now,
Vizio's on pause. I'm talking to
We've-
a half a dozen local banks. They're doing landlord loans now.
Bank. You're talking local bank.
yes,
That's a different animal.
We're not
That's
talking.
non-qualified.
We're
Okay, go
talking.
ahead.
Okay, I'm specifically saying if the lending criteria, whether it's a small bank or Fannie Mae or whoever, Jim Bob Joe,
Yeah.
whoever it is, if their criteria is getting smaller
Tighter.
and their percent down is getting larger, then that's going to make the amount of inventory smaller, which should increase the overall rates of rent coming up this next quarter. For anyone who, if you're out there right now and you've got some resets going on, I would go in and try to raise my rent. I don't think a lot of these people are really going to want to go. They're already renters as is. Some of these people haven't even paid.
Right.
So what creative strategies are you telling people or are you doing for people who, and let's get into this. How many people on your 1,100, what's the percentage of people who paid?
Well, what's interesting is I've got a little bit of data here. Fun stuff, right? Very interesting. We're only a couple of percent below the average of the last 6 months.
Okay.
So we're seeing, on the first, the amount of people that paid was pretty average. By the third and the fifth, we were about 2% below. And this if this were at all legible, I can't see because I'm blind. About 2 or 3% less collected now, as of the 15th, as of a normal 15th, if that makes sense.
Do you know your total collected percent wise for the month?
Yeah, I got it on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, but I know
So-
what mine is today.
What is yours?
I want to see what he says first.
Oh,
I'll be a
okay.
couple
Well,
percent higher.
Years ago, yeah. Hey, it's like my
You say
partner.
99, I'm at 101.
It's like my partner Jim Youngblood say, hey, we play golf. And, what do you like? He goes, well, what's par?
All right, while you're,
Okay.
What is?
Do
I
you
got it
already
right
have
here.
your numbers?
I got it right here.
Okay.
I know what mine is. We had a rental
So-
meeting today.
On the 15th, the average, I'll just tell you.
You want me to write mine down so you know I didn't lie?
No, I don't care.
I'll
So
be
we got a little over 1,000 people, almost 1.4. We in November, 96% had paid by the 15th. December, 85. And you know why? Because everybody
It's Christmas.
buys Christmas presents. They pay late. Okay, but they always end up paying. 92, 98, 96, 90. So this month is 90. So
So
we
a
collect
little bit-
90% of rent.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm at 84.
84.
Oh, that's not bad.
Eighty-four.
Okay, is there a percentage of homes that are under the, the Harris County pays you or Houston?
Section 8.
Section 8?
Section 8?
I got quite a few of those.
Okay.
So the problem we have right
And
now.
Section 8's gonna continually pay.
Section 8 will pay, but the Section 8 tenant typically pays a portion of the rent based on their income, and they may or may not be paying.
Yeah.
You can't,
But
you
some
can't evict.
dollars is so much
Yeah,
better
yeah, of
than
course.
none.
Most of our tenants have communicated with us and said, hey, here's what I'm planning. I've got unemployment coming. I don't have it yet, and then I'll pay.
So for the people who haven't paid, what collection strategies are you using with your 16% that haven't paid?
Well,
What are some creative strategies
Well-
you're gonna do?
I don't know about how creative you want to call it, but we had a long discussion on this today. The 16% that haven't paid are in two groups. You got a group that really don't have the money. They don't have the money. They couldn't pay it if they wanted to. Then we got the other group that got the money and they're using this as an excuse.
Yep.
We're trying to identify which one those are.
Yep.
Now, you identify them a couple of ways. One is you knock on the door and you talk to them. Okay? All right?
Who's
Another-
doing that, you, or do you have someone else that
I've
does
got
it?
I've got a
Okay.
manager that does it.
Perfect.
All right? Now, the other way is, and I came up with this today, we got the employer's name in the file on the application. I told my guy to start calling the employer and see
Verify.
if they're working.
You have
If they're there.
from your application, you have the authority to do that
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
lease.
Yeah, so.
So you can re-verify
So we're
anytime.
doing that. So, and but the main thing we're doing is you call, you text, your email, and then we.
And it's
No,
not
no.
difficult to look at what kind of job they have
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have a pretty good idea whether they're working or not.
Or you show up at 2:00, and they're not there.
Yeah.
Okay, they're probably at work.
Right.
If you show up, I mean, you don't know that if you show up at 6 p.m., but you show up
Right.
at 2:00, you get an idea. Thank
Yeah.
you.
What are you
get an idea.
seeing
Here you go, Andy.
as a blended average maybe of the people who aren't paying? What do you see the price point, like, are they $1,100 a month?
Yeah.
Are they $2,000 a month?
I haven't studied that, have you?
A little bit. It's shockingly, the higher dollar ones are not paying.
Mm.
And here's what I think. The 1,200 and under guy,
They're still essential.
probably, and they work
Mm-hmm.
by the week. They don't know what all this is going on. They don't watch all this. They're not watching briefings every day. They're going to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they're not going to work, they already know how to file unemployment. We're
Mm-hmm.
seeing the $2,500 renter that, you would think is well off, but they're hand to mouth, right? They live month to month. They got more debt than they ought to. They owe for everything, their nice blue jeans and their nice cars. They all got debt, credit card debt. So what's happened for them is they don't know how to file unemployment. They never had to. So we're having to teach them. We're showing them how to file unemployment. And when they file, then they'll pay.
If you're a landlord right
And
now.
that's a wonderful idea. We've not done that, to be honest with you, but we probably should.
Yeah,
but we've
show
not done
them how to do it.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, that is what this whole super investor meeting is about. You talk about this all the time. The reason why I'm doing the podcast or came to you is because these were questions I wanted to know. I wanted to ask you and then record it, and hopefully someone else had the same question I did.
Yes.
And
I
like,
think that's a great tip,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
show
a
'em how
great
to-
tip.
but-
Well,
Y'all
here's
should
what
go
we
back and
did.
listen to some
Right.
of this.
But here's another I think it's important. Remember I said knock on the door? If they have an Escalade that's financed through GMAC, GMAC ain't knocking on that door.
Nope.
Okay, we are.
Right.
And the tendency is to pay the people that's,
Yep,
asking to be paid.
yep.
Okay? Okay?
They
If
wanna stop that
GMAC was
noise.
over there knocking on the door, they're probably paying for the Escalade. Am I right?
Right.
What we've also found is, with the expanded unemployment, we're able to catch them in a lie a lot because we'll say, hey, well, I'm on unemployment, I can't afford it. Well, with the expanded unemployment, we make it very clear politely that we know the federal government's kicking in 600 on top of the 521 max in Texas. You can also file if you're a waiter. If you're 1099 and your business is damaged, you can file partial employment. Let's say you are a waiter, but now all you're doing is working 10 hours a week, doing carryout. You can file partial. And a lot of people don't understand that. You don't even have to prove it. You just have to certify it and you start getting paid. So we are teaching a lot of people that, hey, you can get unemployment. Hell, our realtors can get it because they're doing less deals. Realtors can file unemployment.
Yeah, there's a lot
And
of
get a
NAR.
PPP loan.
There's a lot of NAR, National Association of Realtor articles on
They've
that.
done a great job.
And-
NAR
They're
has.
they're actually probably is, if you read
They're
their
very
articles,
powerful.
the National Association of Realtor article, they are
They're on it.
very well written as compared to others. And you're right,
They're on their game
they're
right
on their
now.
game.
They are lobbying hard.
And what are they lobbying for?
Things
Get
like
some
being
money.
essential.
Yeah.
Some states were calling them non-essential, calling realtors, property managers non-essential. And they're pounding the pavement in
That-
DC.
We're gonna play a game later on, essential versus non-essential. I have some good questions on who you think is essential and who you doesn't. Alex and I had a very good conversation about this earlier.
Yeah. Well, Alex is definitely essential.
Yes, yes.
Well, let's talk about this. I've got some interesting data
Okay,
here.
go for it.
Is people with vacancies, what can you expect to rent your house? How can you rent your house? So a couple of things we did. We were requiring all of our houses, even if the owner signs up today and says, I just cleaned it, doesn't matter. We're going to send somebody in to sanitize the house, right? One time. We do keyless showings. We have electronic lock boxes so we can do remote showings. But what we've noticed is, if you look, again, you can't see this, but
But still, it's good. Here, let me hold it.
leads and inquiries have taken a dip and kind of went sideways, okay? These are weekly numbers. But what happens is, if you can convince somebody to look at a house, so the showings, scheduled versus conducted, we're the last few weeks, the scheduled showings have ramped up, but the actual showings are not going up.
That's a great graph.
So if you look at the dark line, you can't see it. Showings are going way down. But what's interesting is applications are going up. So this side, these are applications going up the last few weeks.
So what does that tell you?
So that tells you that if they make the decision to actually go see the property, they're going to probably fill out an application because they're pre-screening the house with we do video walkthroughs of all
Give them
the
the inquiries one.
inquiries.
We're gonna post these onto the feed.
Yeah, well, you'll be able to see them. But the interesting thing is, if they make a decision to look at the house, they've already seen a video walkthrough, and they're almost certain they're going to rent it. So you're not getting a lot of looky-loos like you used to, right? You get somebody looking at 3 or 4 or 5 houses, they're looking at them online on a video, and then they're going to that one house and renting it.
Eddie, what are you going to do different to sell your properties right now? And what would you advise? What are you advising the people who are buying houses to flip through Jet? What would you advise them to do?
Let me think about it. Give me just a second, because when you ask me the question, I sell most of my houses to owner occupants,
Okay.
okay? Which is not the second half of your question.
But that's still the same thing.
But,
So-
but
You're
to,
still
to
selling.
pigtail, there's no
Yeah.
difference in rent or sell when
Yeah.
it comes to quality pictures, quality description,
Yeah.
and
We-
a video walkthrough.
We try to properly slot the price, okay, in there to where it looks attractive. That's probably whether these times are pastimes. That's one of the biggest things we do is selection of the price point that we enter the market. All right, I have a realtor, Thomas Saunders, that works with me that lists a lot of my houses, and I'm an agent, and Thomas lists my houses. And the reason I have another agent listing my houses, or not all of my, but a lot of my houses, is because he has the time to do all this creativity.
Well, it
and
also
get
gives
these
you a
things-
level, a
and
layer
get these
of
things
protection.
marketed. It does, and that is very important.
Yeah.
So Thomas now lists about 60 to 75% of my houses, and I list the balance. But Thomas does a better job than I have because he's technically more qualified, and I think, Thomas has more time because he doesn't run multiple companies. He's just on his game with the social media, blasting these deals out everywhere, marketing behind the scenes, and he's probably eventually going to take over all of them, because he has the time to do that. So getting back to your question, what are we doing? I'm relying on an expert out there that's a really, really good marketer, and I look at the price point, and that's where we go.
I want to interject something. I'm into selling high-end properties. I sell in the Heights. I just finished a house. It just had, it just got staged, so I did the full staging. I did a full online, high-quality picture presentation, and then we did a 3D virtual tour.
Okay.
So we did everything that you did. Then not only that, but we also did we do a private walkthrough video.
Yeah, you need to do that. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
We're doing the walkthrough video. Where are you saying, take a look at the sink, take a look at
One
this?
of my buyers is a realtor. I mean, not a realtor. He's a doctor, physician. His wife is a physician. And they have something called a physician loan that has 2% down. Yes, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Because physicians, I'm not telling you who it is, between him and his wife, their debt on just to be physicians was $750,000. So they have 2% to put down on the house. The house I had listed for $849. So what I did after the 3D virtual tour was I did what Eddie suggested. I cut it $50,000. And then I have relisted that property at $799 and then some change, because we do. Eddie's number one rule is don't have a whole bunch of zeros on the end, not more than 1 0. So we do that in an homage to you.
Yeah, well,
You taught me one or two things.
Well, here's a big one. You can't get too hard-headed on your offers right now. I mean, you better, until we see what really goes on with this inventory. If you get an acceptable offer,
Yeah. Oh man.
probably need to roll with it.
Yeah,
Instead of trying to, I admit I'd made a mistake on one about a month ago. I would love to have that offer back. And I didn't turn it down. I countered too high and they went away. And I'd love to have that offer back today, because I don't have that house sold today. Yeah. So don't get hard-headed on your offers.
Okay. What do you think is the? Wait. Hey, Alex. We have a bunch of questions.
Yes.
Hit us
Yeah.
with some questions.
Okay.
And they can hear you now? Okay, go for it.
Randy, you got me? All right, next question. Let's see. This is from Sharon Lesker. I
What's up, Supermama?
identified a tenant as someone who just doesn't want to pay. What do I do?
Restate the question, please.
She identified a tenant that they don't
Doesn't
have an
want to
issue, they
pay.
just don't want to pay. What
They can,
should
they
she
just-
do?
What you want to do is if you have a non-covered mortgage, and there's a distinction, a covered mortgage versus non-covered. If it's covered, that means the tenant's either on some kind of assistance, Section 8, or your loan has anything to do with Fannie, Freddie, or any government insurance. If it's not one of those, then you can give them a notice, and the day the court opens, you can file on their behinds. You can't charge late fees, but if you're on a covered mortgage, then you have a moratorium on evictions for, I don't know, way too long.
What do you mean a covered mortgage or a non-covered
So
mortgage?
covered, if your
I
mortgage.
got a lot of experience up here, and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So they defined a covered mortgage in the CARES Act as anything that had anything to do with Fannie, Freddie,
Oh, okay.
all these different
Okay.
types of
Government
mortgages. Any
insured
kind of
or-
government insured mortgage is
got
called
you.
covered.
Covered, okay.
And they've banned evictions on those.
Yeah, yeah.
If your mortgage is not covered, you got a loan at Allegiance or
Mm-hmm.
somebody like that. It's just a plain Jane loan that's not been resold, right?
Yeah,
If it's been resold, it's probably covered, right?
yeah.
You need to make sure and send an invoice out to Allegiance Bank for
Yeah,
the free
For the
advertising.
advertising, that's right. They're great.
Well-
So what we did was we created a document for our owners. So when a tenant gets ornery,
Yeah.
where it's different than a tenant that's trying, but the
Right.
tenant that doesn't want to try, we send a document to the owner and we say, you need to get in touch with your bank, find out 100% sure whether you have a covered or not mortgage, and then certify that you don't, and we'll go get them. But if you certify that you are, our hands
Yeah.
are tied, but we don't want to break the law.
Okay.
And that's what we'll
Well, you
do.
can't evict right now.
Well, the courts are closed.
That's right.
But when,
So,
when
they
a
open
court's
back up.
open, you can file an eviction.
But you, in order to file your eviction, you must have already served your 30,
Notice,
your
30-day
3-day
notice.
late.
3-day
and-
3-day notice to
3-day
vacate.
late, and then your 30-day notice to vacate,
Correct.
correct?
So you can do those notices if
Right
they
now.
are, if it's a covered mortgage, you can't even give them that notice. So we had to modify our notice to vacate to say notice of rent owed. Because you can't say notice to vacate. You have to say notice of rent owed.
And then here's another thing. If you're going to serve the 3-day notice, and you're going to serve this notice of non-payment or notice to vacate, once you've served them, do not accept any money. If you accept any money
Correct.
whatsoever, you reset all
You
your
get to start
terms.
over. Yeah, you start over.
So be willing to
Now, here's
ride that out.
Here's something most people don't know. I bet Eddie knows this. If you serve someone, you go to court and you get a judgment for possession, and they subsequently pay, you can keep that money and still, they have to leave, because you've already got possession. And they owe you the money now on a judgment, and there's not any of this, hey, they told me they were gonna, let me stay business, which you don't wanna be unethical
Do
to
you-
say that.
When someone leaves one of your properties owing money to the landlord, they actually owe. They owe monies for, because money's unpaid or damages. Do y'all use a collection agency?
We do.
Who, do you mind giving a referral? Because I need one. Or you can give me offline if you don't want to do it.
I don't know the name of
Yeah,
them.
'cause we've
But
been
yeah, we
using
just
one,
got a
but
couple of
we're
grand for a
gonna-
guy
we're
the other
gonna-
day.
We're gonna, see, you did. Yeah,
For
okay.
one of our landlords, we got a
We're-
couple thousand.
Yeah.
Alex,
I
hit
don't-
me.
I
Hit
don't
me with
remember.
another question.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
These are good questions, y'all.
So
Keep them
just-
coming online.
So just a follow-up, what you're just talking about from Pam Douglas, is it a good idea to do some type of payment plan with tenants who can't pay full rent, but they can pay some of the rent?
Well, Rich and I may have a difference of opinion on that, and that's okay. You want to go first? Because I have an opinion on that.
I have a strong opinion on it. If you make a payment plan with a tenant, they're almost never gonna do it. Okay? However, we always do promises to pay, right? Somebody says, I'm gonna pay Friday when I get paid. I'm gonna pay next week when I get, and we make a note of that, but we don't put an agreement in writing in that. But what we will do, and we've seen this be pretty successful, is let's say somebody truly is a great tenant that's done everything they've wanted, they're supposed to do over the years. You know they're telling the truth.
They're
good
taking care of
people,
the place.
And they're taking care of the house.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll restructure the lease, kind of like you'd restructure an owner finance mortgage that
And
they
I
got
think that this
behind.
is a creative thing that you can do right
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
in this scenario.
Yeah.
So we would say, okay, we're just gonna say you can't pay but $400 of 2,000 in April, so that's 1,600. What we're gonna do is we're gonna extend your lease 16 months, add $100 to it, and rewrite a new lease that starts in May. And we don't charge the owner for the extension or the renewal, and we don't charge the tenant anything for it. And that creates a new lease, and then there's a clause in there that says at the end of the 16 months, it goes down to the old rent plus a percentage more.
Yeah, that's good stuff. The first half of that we do. We look, what's the history? And are they taking care of the place?
And are
Okay?
they
So that's
full
one-
of it or not?
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing. Now, I'd give a numerical example. If the rent's $1,200 and they're offering $50, I gotta be honest with you, probably not gonna accept it. If the rent's $1,200 and they say, all we have is $800,
Yeah.
I'm about the money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna reach out with my loving hands and take the $800.
Well, you don't have the enforcement
That's right.
vehicle right now
And
anyway.
I don't,
And
That's
you got-
right.
you
where
got no
are you going
influence.
to put that
And
money
thank 'em-
at?
And thank them for that. Where am I
Where
gonna
would you
that?
put the remainder that they owe, the other $300?
Let's just sits on their,
or whatever?
it just sits on their accounts receivable.
Accounts
Okay.
receivable, you know, and then
On
when
the
they,
tenant ledger.
and when they pay, the first monies go toward late fees and things of that nature, and then, yeah. But no, but the most important, I learned a long time ago, you take care of good tenants.
Well,
You
I've
take
taught,
care of good tenants.
I've
and-
taught
and-
my folks for a long
yeah,
time.
Yeah, yeah,
They are the asset in this whole
that's
equation.
right, yeah.
They are the most important thing.
You know, the thing that kills you in the rental business is one word, vacant. Yeah, well, different terminology, but same thing. Vacancy
Right.
kills you in the rental business. I don't care if you're in the middle of a CV-19 pandemic or you're, you know, in the boom of 2014. Vacancy kills.
Tell you what, you have a crappy house in a crappy neighborhood and the tenant stays 20 years, you get rich. You have a great house that turns over every year, going broke.
Because you gotta do make ready after make
Make
ready
ready
after
after
make
make
ready,
ready.
and then
Yep,
the
yep.
30 days.
It's why those high dollar houses are kind of risky because of those renters come in, rent for a year, get the lay of the land and go buy a house. They move
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
The majority of your properties
Yeah.
are under what price point?
Our average rent's about 1,600.
Okay.
Pretty high.
ARVs would be average what?
175,
Okay. What
160,
about you, Eddie?
175.
I'm probably a little lower than that.
Yeah.
But I got some big, nice houses. But the majority are
And see, a way to ferret that
low
out.
100s. Low 100s
Yeah,
is the majority.
$1,200 rentals. Yeah,
Mhm.
1,230.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a bread and butter type of deal.
Yeah,
It's a good
yeah,
rental.
yeah.
One of the ways we ferret out these people that are full of it, like you were talking about, is when we start to educate them about, hey, you know the federal government's kicking in on unemployment. Hey, you know you can do partial. They don't want to hear that. They're full of it. If they don't want to hear, because they already know it,
Right.
and they're just not going to do it. They're not going to give it to you.
What you got over there, producer?
Okay, from Louis Alba. This is a PPI question. You guys want to shift gears a little bit?
PPP.
PPP question. They do not have any contracts with their workers, but they still want to apply for PPP. Have you seen companies like theirs who do not they're not
Such
they don't
a
have any
good question.
contracts with their workers, but can they still apply?
So
Can,
here-
can the company apply or can the individual workers apply?
The company.
Okay, I know, go ahead. and then I'll-
company cannot get any money unless they're W-2 employees, period. But those individual contractors can go get their own loan.
I agree 100%. Let me add some commentary to that. The first week of the program, those rules changed like 3 to 4 times.
Daily.
They sure as hell did.
Hourly.
Yeah, and every morning.
Banks are not happy.
And actually, the rules were being changed and published overnight, the way it was actually working. So every morning, all the bankers are waking up and the attorneys and the accountants are waking up and reading the new rules. And it was a fluid situation for the first 7 to 10 days in this before they leveled out. And I agree with Mr. Drake, my
They made
distinguished
it,
colleague
they
here.
clarified
Yeah,
it because
yeah,
it was
yeah.
unclear at first.
And
It
Rich is
wasn't
100%
explicit.
correct.
Now, the good thing about it is all they have to do is take their Schedule C from 2019. If they don't have 2019, they can use 18.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule C net income and divide that by 12, and that would be their average monthly, times 2.5, and they can get that, and it
Mm-hmm. That's
will.
for the individuals.
For the individual, and it'll be
Individuals.
forgiven because your payroll is you.
So you don't, even if you didn't pay yourself, as long as you have a Schedule C,
You gotta have a Schedule C with a net income in it.
okay, I'm thinking of K1,
So
sorry.
this is a 1099 guy.
Yeah,
Waiters can do it.
right.
Okay, got another
Anybody
one?
can.
Lay it on us.
Okay, this is from Ed Petras. Anything on Greg Rand's comments of the economic decline leading to an accelerated recovery in about 8 weeks?
I don't know who
I-
Greg
So
Rand
Greg,
is.
I don't-
Greg was on our call last week with me. He's a national guy at Renters Warehouse.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
And I can comment on that. He, I think what he said coincides exactly with what Eddie said. Whenever this steep decline happens, the steep increase is gonna happen. It's gonna be a rapid
Yeah,
recovery.
yeah.
These are opinions, guys.
Yeah.
But I really
Yeah.
think, we're gonna see confidence
Mm-hmm.
when stuff starts opening back up and people start going to restaurants and people start going places.
Yeah.
Confidence is gonna hit, and it's gonna be, what do they call it, a V-shaped
Yeah.
recovery?
Well,
I agree with Greg in that respect.
You already know my analogy. This is like, we've been in this like 2-month, 3-month, cold, rainy season and you can't do anything. And everybody's itching to go do something. And then we're gonna have this pretty day soon where we're gonna have this pretty day soon and everybody wants to go do something. And everybody's gonna go do something, and that includes drink, eat, travel, go to
Spend money.
destinations, spend money, buy. They're gonna do all this stuff. That's my analogy, is we're in this 60-day rainy, cold season right now, and hopefully it turns pretty
I'm
soon.
really interested to see what happens tomorrow with the briefing and
Yeah.
start opening some
Yeah,
states
yeah,
partially.
Yeah.
I am too. So that leads me to what is the one thing that you took for granted that coming out of this you're going to be like, I ain't taking that for granted anymore?
Going out to eat. I love going to restaurants.
What about you,
Getting a
Eddie?
nice steak or,
That I'm gonna tell you, you can't take your business for granted, because we've been on a little bit of easy street here for too long. 21-year track record, and we've done well since a little bit ago.
What's some
Not so
day
much.
What's some day-to-day thing that you've done that you just, man, it just was like, this will never go away, and now it's not there, and you're like, man, I wish I had that back.
hey, let's go out and have a cold beer.
I like to sit on a bar stool and laugh.
Like it.
Whether I'm with friends
Yeah, I'm missing
or
being
new
with
people. I
friends.
mean, I like to sit on a bar. If you ever see me go in a bar, I'll almost never sit at a table.
Yeah.
If there's bar stools available, I go sit at the bar stool. And I go sit at the bar stool and
You have a lot of fun with nobody around.
You damn right. I'm
You're-
a fun
you're
son of a gun.
self-entertainment.
I'm a fun son of a gun to be around.
What?
But that's what. But the business, the business. I'm paying closer attention to expenses.
Have you realized in your business who is essential and who is not essential?
Well, maybe a smart ass or be serious.
I want you to be both
Okay.
because that is who you
Well,
are.
I always thought everybody here was essential anyway. To be honest with you,
Yeah, you wouldn't be paying them if you didn't need them.
Yeah. So that's the real answer. The smart ass answer is, it ain't but one essential person here. That's a joke.
What about
You know,
you? Have
that's
you-
a joke.
we've
That's a
really,
joke.
and we've
That's a
really
joke.
slowed down a little bit and reminded ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and reminded our folks that we care about people. And we gotta
Mm-hmm.
take care of people. And people are more important than the pocketbook,
Yeah.
right? We're waiving things that we're not required to waive. We're not charging for things that we are not required to not charge for because we need to take care of people.
Alex, you ready to play essential, non-essential with these guys?
Lord.
Yeah, but I got 2 more questions
Yeah.
if we have time.
Let's do
All
the
right,
questions.
let's do the
Let's
questions.
That's more important than these banners.
Okay, I got a question from Frederick Sebren. Title companies, when do you think they're going to get back to normal times? For him, it's been taking 4 weeks or more to close a property. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, I got a great suggestion for that, and it has nothing to do with these times when you're at the wrong title company.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting 4 weeks to close anything.
No.
You're at the wrong title company.
Yeah, you need to get with an investor-friendly title company that appreciates our type of business.
This business, this issue we're in is not slowing down title. And I have a very hard, accurate opinion on that. It's not. That's not a factor.
We're getting stuff done very quickly.
That's not a factor.
Title-wise.
I have another question here from Brian Case. When do you think buying flips will really open back up again? 30, 60, 90, 120 days? What are your thoughts?
Well, Yeah, can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna tack that question in reverse. It's not about buying. It's about your exit. The reword the question is, when is my exit strategies gonna open up? Because I don't think there's an issue right
the
now
buy, yeah.
on the buys.
I don't either. I think
think
the
it's
buy's a little better right now.
Yeah, but you can't buy not knowing your exit. And you only got 3. That is, you hold
Owner-occupant.
it, you hold it as a rental, or you sell it to an owner occupant, you sell it to an investor, and then you can break the investor down into two, sell it to a landlord investor, sell it to another flipper. I guess your other exit is not the positive one, you lose it because you don't pay your lender, but that's not the positive exit, that's an exit. But
I think-
it's about the exit to me.
I think as long as you have the capability of holding it, but maybe your plan is to flip it, but you have the capability to hold it if you need to, I think it's time to be making offers,
Agreed.
aggressive offers.
But if you're gonna hold it, where's your long-term money gonna come from? That's an issue right now. If you're gonna flip it to another flipper or flip it to another landlord, where are they getting their money from? Getting the buy, fix, and flip money right now is not an issue. It is the long-term money that's an issue with a lot of people. So I think you turn the question around and
But as
all about
buyers
that,
are getting
yeah.
a little cocky, like
Yeah,
we talked
yeah,
about,
yeah.
it might be harder to sell a house retail, might be harder to get them somebody financed. If you have the ability to hold it,
Yeah.
put it in your IRA or put it on a local bank that
Yeah.
you have a relationship with, I wouldn't be afraid to go out and make some offers and make them a little lower than you're used to making to be conservative.
I agree. I don't think there's any way your April numbers are gonna mirror the March numbers. You're not gonna have 8,000 houses
I doubt
sell
it.
in April like you
We've
did
lost
in
two,
March.
we've lost two deals
You
in the
know,
last couple of
you're
weeks.
just not gonna have it. And then May is gonna be probably worse than April. Cause a May closing on a sale, they gotta write the contract now. Okay, and you're not getting enough, in my opinion,
Not
of
getting enough
activity.
showings. Yeah.
Okay, now let's play essential, non-essential. All right, you ready?
Okay.
I'm gonna hit you with the first one. If anybody has any question or anything that would be essential or non-essential, ask now on Facebook or any of the social media platforms. All right, wholesalers, essential or non-essential today, currently?
For what, the economy or or
I'm
by
just
definition?
asking. I'm asking you, and then you get to explain why you feel the way you feel.
I don't know if I know the rules here.
I don't either, but I think you need wholesalers.
Okay, what do you think? Essential or non-essential currently? And why do you think that they're non-essential today?
I guess I'm approaching it from another way. I'm looking at healthcare, all these other trades that are essential as a wholesaler in the real estate industry and an essential person. So I would say non-essential.
What would make a wholesaler essential in this environment?
If our real estate economy, I don't make anybody mad at it, needed them to survive. And I don't think our real estate economy needs wholesalers to survive.
What if they actually
I
could?
gotta be careful here.
Yeah, what if I think the reason why I was
Yeah.
asking this is I still see a lot of these wholesalers
Yeah.
with overpriced properties. And I think the way that you can make yourself essential is actually negotiate some better properties. And quit sending out everybody else's deal and daisy chaining.
Without asking.
It's awful out there. I have 10,000 unread emails in my email box,
That's zero.
and a lot of them are retrades and retreads.
I just archive those. Get 'em.
What? Okay, real estate agents as a whole, not little bitty ones, but as a whole, real estate agents, essential or not essential? Ooh, okay.
It's already been defined.
Yeah, people,
but-
think- well, for, yeah.
That's
sorry,
for me.
Yeah, but, well, it's, if someone needs shelter, for whatever reason,
They're the conduit.
The way that they
you
are
gotta-
currently
you-
conducting business today, most realtors,
Well,
do you
they're-
think that they're essential or not essential, the way that they're doing it?
Well, you have
I'm
to
gonna stick
define
with
the
my
way
answer.
that they're doing
I'm
it.
gonna
What are
stick
you
with my
talking
answer.
about?
I'm gonna stick with my answer, essential.
Okay?
They're providing shelter. They're providing the
absolutely.
means for someone to obtain shelter. Shelter is
I-
essential of life.
I agree with the government there. They've been deemed essential
Yeah,
because the majority of homes that are bought and sold are done through a realtor, and
that's
folks
right.
need that protection when they buy. They don't
I'm-
know
I'm-
how to buy.
I'm bringing
I-
back to the core product. It's the shelter.
Yep.
Called a house. You gotta have shelter. You gotta have shelter. You gotta have
Okay.
water. You gotta have food.
Okay, you have to have employees. So employees in jet lending would be essential. But some employees in some businesses, might become non-essential. Like today, commercial real estate, essential, non-essential. with what the information we have today, do you think commercial real estate in terms of office buildings, essential, non-essential?
If you're talking about health and safety period and not economy,
I'm
non-essential.
I'm talking about the commercial real estate industry right now as buying
The whole
commercial
industry.
property. Would you be buying commercial property right now in this unknown time of how many people are going to start reducing the size of their office?
Depending on the type of property, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna buy an office building,
Okay.
but I might buy a strip center or
What
a
a-
storage facility or an
Medical-
RV
medical-
park or a
medical
medical
fac- Medical
center.
facility.
So there's,
There's too many essential needs of the.
Doctor
type of
office has to have
commercial
real
properties.
Okay.
that's
Mortgage broker.
essential.
Goes back to shelter.
Sure.
100%. I agree.
Shelter.
Okay. What's another one? Car salesman.
Gotta get to work, essential.
As long as I got 0% for 72 months and no payments for 3 months. I traded my truck, I traded the Raptor.
You went to
in.
Tomball Ford, right?
No, I went to Planet.
Oh, Planet Ford.
Planet.
And what'd you get? The Lariat?
I downgraded to an FX4.
That's what I got. The
Yeah,
FX4 Lariat.
I got to 0% for 72 months and 12,000 rebates and no payment for 3 months.
It's exactly, that's exactly,
What
and
I
I got a
did.
2019, not a 2020.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay.
Good deal.
Let's see here. What else could be essential or not essential? Anybody else comment
You
on
know,
anything?
lottery tickets are considered essential. That's the silliest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, so the way that I was playing this game is, do you see anyone in the industry right now that has made themselves non-essential because they're not doing something?
In the real estate industry.
Yes. Eddie's running out of water.
Ice water. Thank you. Hope we don't lose
So
sound.
you have somebody you're thinking of specifically? Because I'd
I
like to.
think a lot of realtors, going back to the realtor deal, I see a lot of realtors still trying to function and sell houses based on showing the person the property
Yeah,
and
you-
not using creative tools today to make them.
Well, they don't have guidance from their broker. You need to get out there and do a video and get it up there.
Well, let me tell you about that. Well, you can word this all you want about creative tools. The creative tools gets the person to the front door. The creative tool will not make them buy that house. It gets them to the door. Would you agree?
So
just
of
remember,
course.
I mean, people they gotta go in that house and see that it's a fit.
And so we actually, if someone wants to see a house and that house, for instance, doesn't have an electronic lockbox and we'll go over there, we'll open the door and we'll get out of the way and let them walk and then lock. But you can always do FaceTime, you can do Google Chat, whatever you need to have a face-to-face communication or just stand a little bit.
50% of my buyers come from my direct Facebook feed, and I give my
Thank
realtor
you.
the referral, and my realtor turns around and closes the transaction at a discounted price because they came directly from.
Because they didn't acquire, they
my
didn't source the
marketing.
buyer.
Your marketing got them. Got them.
Do you think stagers are essential or non-essential today, right now? And if not, how could they make themselves essential?
Well, it's easy to virtually stage now.
Ooh.
So you could just send it on, upload the pictures and they'll throw all the furniture in there for you virtually.
Who has taken themselves from being an essential service and is right now in this environment is not at all in the real estate industry?
You've
Is
already
there
asked that
anybody?
question once.
Did I?
Yeah, and you said realtors the way some of them are doing business.
Well, is there anyone else? What about inspectors, appraisers?
They all have part of the process that's
Yeah.
they're protecting the consumer. They have to be there.
The consumer's not gonna get the
Surveyors.
shelter without one of those trades. You take one blog out, the whole thing.
You don't have to have an inspection,
All right,
but
let's
it's
roll on. Let's
surely
roll
a
on.
bad
This is
idea.
dragging.
What is the one thing that you're going to do when this open back up? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, personally?
Yeah?
A nice steak at a nice restaurant and sitting on a beach in Central America somewhere.
I'm going Destin.
I'm gonna
Have you
travel.
already booked it?
I tried.
And?
Well, yeah, the vacation rentals are shut down. You can book a hotel room,
Well,
but you cannot book a vacation rental.
No
What I-
VRBOs, no Airbnbs?
Well, what I did was I went out
Can't book it.
several months and I've booked flights to different places on Southwest because I have points. I just booked a bunch of flights.
Yeah.
And if it keeps going, I'll just cancel,
Yeah.
cancel, but I'm getting it for nothing right now.
I've told my two brothers, I said, I'm booking a 3-bedroom condo. Y'all come on. It's on me.
I'm gonna
So we
sleep
just
on the
gotta-
floor
You can sleep on the floor.
or in the truck.
He said you had a couch.
Yeah,
He's got one couch for
yeah.
you.
So,
All right, is there any more questions?
Yes.
All right, let's wrap up with a couple questions and shut this thing down.
All right. Claude asks, can you claim exemptions on rentals so you don't get hit with outrageous taxes at the end of the year?
can you claim exemptions on rentals? You
Well-
talking property taxes?
He just words it as his taxes.
Well, for income taxes, you have depreciation.
Yeah.
You know, you depreciate the asset based on how much you paid for it, but that's about it.
Well,
And
for
then
you,
you-
for it, yeah, I mean,
you got
that's
expenses of
2
owning the
What's that?
property.
That's 2.7,
Something like
2.8% a year.
Was it like 29 and a half years or whatever it is?
I mean, we're in tax I don't know if he's talking about property taxes. That's what I thought he was talking about. And we're right in the middle of the protest season right now, right?
Yeah, and right now,
Right now.
it's gonna be interesting to see how the protests work, because I just talked to my protest company, and right now, they're not allowed to go in there. So it'll be interesting to see how they
Yeah.
solve that, whether they do
Yeah.
teleconference or what
Yeah.
for protests.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
All right, next question is from Gregory. Do you have any tips for finding owner finance buyers?
Oh, I got a great one. And you don't think I'm a smart aleck? Sign the yard.
Well, I was gonna say, put a sign in the yard that
Sign in
says
the
owner
yard.
financing available,
Yeah, yeah.
because you're gonna get that buyer from
Yeah.
a neighbor's relative or a
Mhm.
drive-by
And
anyway.
they've already approved the street and the exterior of the house.
Yep.
I mean, we have sold a ton of owner finance properties over the years, and the vast majority of the buyers came off a yard sign.
But be careful putting so-and-so down, so-and-so a month before you look at them. Look at that buyer and get their qualifications. You're really not supposed to do that. So just put owner finance available, low down payment, something like that.
There's nothing better than a yard sign call on an owner finance.
Yep.
They've already approved the street and the exterior of the home.
They like the neighborhood, and they probably got their brother-in-law living next door, and they're gonna buy it,
Is there going to be an increase in owner finance listings?
possibly.
It could be.
I think there might be
Could
with
Yeah.
some time and stability in
Yeah.
the job
Yeah.
market, there'll be an
Yeah.
increase in the value of those notes as well, because people are gonna be searching
Yeah.
for yield because rates are jacked.
Let's give
Hold-
everybody,
Hold on, my favorite number, we didn't talk about. 28,900
listings.
actives. Actives.
That's way up, isn't it?
No, it was 20 when the March. Well, it's up. Not yeah. March 9th is the day in my mind all this started. It was 28,044.
Oh, I thought it was 26 and change.
Now,
So it's,
28,044 was the number. I've got it written down. And today it's 28,900. So we've gone up approximately 900.
you know what might be interesting is
In a-
look at
in
the
a
number
little over a
of,
month.
number of canceled listings in the last 30 days
I actually did that.
versus over time.
I actually did that. The other day, what I did terminated and withdrawn over a 30-day period. Do you want to take a guess at the number?
No idea.
1,900. But you can't say the 1,900 was removed from the market. That means 1,900 withdrawn or terminated at some point in time. A certain section of that would have gone back active.
Relisted.
Relisted.
What is the?
And I don't know what that is.
I guess the only way to see if that's strange or out of whack is to go back a year and look at how
We
many
can
were done a
see
year
how
ago
many
this
were
time.
withdrawn, if you could get the data. Now, somebody can probably get that data from you. I don't know how to
I
get
don't know
that
how to
data
get it.
off of there where you get the, what was it last March? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was 1,900 the other day withdrawn and terminated last 30 days.
I think that's a high number. I'm just off the
Yeah,
top of my
yeah,
head.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a high number.
It could be, and I don't
But
know.
because I've seen
It's less than 1%, right?
in the last week, so
No,
I
it's
get
about
a-
10%.
I get an email when an owner terminates, right? our business, and they'll say, owner OT, it'll say address OT, and it'll say reason, selling house, reason, moving back in, reason, brother moving in, whatever, right? In the last week, I've probably had 4 or 5 that said OT, and it said the title forward OT, and it says owners decided to keep renting, not going to sell right now. I've seen 4 or 5 of them. And so what's happening is they're putting them up and they're going, I didn't get
Yeah.
one bite.
Yeah.
What's your closing tip for everybody tonight? So when they come out, they're going to crush it. What are you going to leave them with?
Well, we've talked about this already,
yeah.
is 08, 07, 08, 09 happened, and everybody was scrambling, reacting.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
preparing for this now.
Yeah.
Have money ready, be liquid, pull back, quit spending money on stupid stuff, get yourself lean, right? Get your debts in order, get your house in order, and be ready to pull the trigger when the market and the economy turn back on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any magic drums of magic here, but what I can tell you is every time we've had an event, whether it be 9/11 or floods or the collapse of 08, every time we've had it, and when you spring out of it, it goes hard and fast. And people that don't get in it and own it and take advantage of it, fast forward 4, 5, or 6 years later, every one of them go, crap, why didn't I get on it?
Why didn't I take
So I
advantage
would
of it?
say, we've talked about get your money ready, know where your money's coming from, get educated. But the other thing you got to do is you got to get in that mindset not to procrastinate and let it get by you.
Well, I want to appreciate everybody who logged on. We've had upwards to 150 at any time on
Oh,
here.
yeah, good. I didn't even look.
So thank you all very much for watching, contributing, being a part of this. Like, love, and share. Those are greatly appreciated. And we will see you guys next month.
Yep, thanks everybody. Appreciate you.
Bye.